Just waiting for my paperwork at the clinic. They gotta print out my DOT forms. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Hello. Hey. You didn't hear me. Tell her I'm outside. I was just on the phone. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. I didn't want them to think I left, but I don't like being cooped up in a bunch of... I'm not trying to be funny, but some of those foreigners, they be having odor. So I was in the clinic right now, and the funk was hitting me from left to right. So I'm just rather be outside with y'all right now. Plus, I like seeing people, the hustle and bustle in New York. It feels good sometimes to just sit back and watch people, going about their lives. But my plan is to get out of New York eventually. I'm going to shoot for the end of this year, inshallah. I want to go to Charlotte. I feel like Charlotte is like a happy medium city. It's not too hot, not too cold. VA gives me that movie Get Out. It gives me that kind of vibe. And Georgia just too hot. The people too ghetto. I like Charlotte, so that's my plan. But anyways, let me get to the point of this video. There's a series show. I think it's about 4 or 5 series. I just made it to series, I think 4, and I'm hooked. So between trying to do schoolwork and watch that, but it gives me a better insight of the mind of sociopaths, psychopaths, narcissistic. They're all on that spectrum. And this man, he's a sociopath, which is the same as antisocial disorder. He goes around, he seeks people out, so he targets women. But what I was trying to get to say on that video, I was talking to y'all a few hours ago. One of the things that I notice about narcissistic people, they want to appear as good. They don't want to be discovered as malicious. Like the psychopath, they don't care how you think about them. Their goal is not to please you or to make you feel like, impress you, right? But the sociopaths and the narcissists, they have an extreme desire to be validated. That's the weakness of them. That's their kryptonite. You know how every person has a kryptonite? That's the thing that will destroy them, is not being able to be validated, not being able to be seen. And it doesn't have to be seen in a positive way or a negative way. They just want to be seen. But then you have the meticulous narcissists that they're so strategic in trying to be seen as a good person. And that's what that show is about, You. It's about how he stalks his prey. He develops relationships with them. And then his whole mind is like the show is showing you his thoughts. So you can hear it like being spoken out loud. So he's constantly telling himself when he does something bad, he has cognitive dissonance and he kind of disassociates. He has dissociative type of personality where he'll be like, I didn't really do anything bad. Technically, I'm protecting my girlfriend after he's butchering her ex-boyfriend. He's like, well, I do have to butcher him to death, but, sorry, trigger warning. I do have to butcher this man, but I'm noble. I'm doing the right thing by this girlfriend. Technically, he doesn't even like the girlfriend because she's a slut. Throughout the movie, she's cheating on him. She's highly promiscuous. There's a word that they call that disorder, where you constantly got to have sex. He has the same disorder. He masturbates in public. So it's on the line of like perversion, right? Him and the girlfriend has that same level of perversion. So he's attracted to her on that level, but he also hates her for it. This is like this weird thing where it turns me on, but it makes me feel like I'm more of a bad person because now you got me out here masturbating off of you in public. That kind of thing. Crazy ass show. But it's a good show because it helps me understand my psychology classes. And right now in my class, we're studying the brain, like the neurotransmitters and the signals that the brain does and how these signals affect your behavior. People get addicted to nicotine, they get addicted to drugs, but they don't tell you a lot in real life the damage that getting addicted to people does to your brain. You can get addicted to a person just like dopamine, just like a drug, and your neurotransmitters are now being developed to be attached or attracted or obsessed with a person, to the point where if you lose that obsession, the neurotransmitters in your brain go haywire. That's why people can have a panic attack. They could literally drop dead if they're in a situation where they lose their target, which is the person that they're obsessed with. And that's what's going on with this guy. As soon as he loses one of the females he's with, because he gets like totally obsessed, to the point where he's ruminating about them. He's smelling their underwear. He's saving their items in a box. I don't want to give away the whole show because this is a really profound show. Whoever taught her this show must be in psychology, and they must be really good at making storylines, because the storylines, the plot twist, all of that is phenomenal. I don't know if they already got an award, but they need an award for that show. And it's the thing about it is like it's a lot of gruesome in it, like, you know, it's death in it, but they make it where it's lighthearted enough where you can stomach it. You can stomach the show. It has a storyline where it's not too gross. But the thing about these narcissist people, these people that are psychopathic, and the problem with them is the appetite is insatiable. That's how you know it's demonic. It's an insatiable appetite, to the point where, why does this man keep staring at me like, damn, just say hello. I can't even talk. He's like all in my mouth. How you doing? I had to say hi first so he could stop staring. Made me lose my train of thought. But you're probably saying, well, look how you dress. But I just don't like when people are rude about it. I don't mind you looking, just say hello or something. But my point is this. He gets the girl that he thinks is the girl of his dreams, right? And even with getting her attention, he's still not satisfied. He wants all of her time. He don't want her to have no friends. I ain't gonna front. She was a little bit disrespectful at times, where she would kind of like call him and tell him to come over, and then she would cancel plans on him and stuff like that. So she was like, he was not like her top priority. But it did make sense, because it's like, okay, it's a new relationship. They were only together about 6 months, and he wanted her to devote her dying time, all her time, to him. So that's why they broke up, because he was so obsessed to the point where he was controlling every aspect of her life, and, you know, annihilating people that got in the way. But finally she fell in love with him, because it takes time to fall in love with a person. She finally fell in love with him, and then he still, at the end of the day, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough, because he felt like he wanted to create his own paradise where wherever there should be no obstacles. He felt like to be in a good relationship with this woman, there can be no obstacles. So any challenges that was presented, he turned a straight psychopath, and he's eliminating all obstacles. So he became a problem. And then every time he had, to the point where he created his own destruction, he had to move to another city. So that's one of the things that they don't talk about with this personality disorder, is that it never ends. People are just feeding a bottomless pit. There's a show called, I forgot the name of the show. It was about this, it's an old show. I think it's called Little Shop of Horrors. And in Little Shop of Horrors, it's a cute, funny show, but it's realistic. It describes the personality of a narcissist and a sociopath. There's this plant. I don't know the name of the plant. I think it's an orchid or something like that. And it opens up. It's just like this one big plant. It looks like a big mouth. And when they first got the plant, it was a little, tiny little plant. And the guy that owns the flower shop, he likes the plant. He's like, oh, this is the cutest little plant. So he starts watering the plant. The plant starts growing astronomically, and he's like, wow, this plant is huge. Next thing you know, the plant is channeling thoughts to him, telling him we need food. So he starts bringing food for the plant. Then the plant said, no, we need sacrifice. We need souls. We need, blood. So he starts butchering people in the alley to give the plant the blood. the plant gets so huge, it's like bigger than the whole store. It's taking over all the other plants, the leaves, the vines are growing out of it. The vines are strangling the customers. And it was just a nightmare. That's why they call it Little Shop of Horror. It was horror. That's the appetite of these people with personality disorders. That you got to understand, when you keep giving them what they want, you're giving into their desires. If they have a sexual appetite that is out of this world, you're just feeding it. Look at P. Diddy, right? It's an insatiable appetite that no amount of boys or men is going to satisfy that man. And then Allah said, you know what? Enough is enough. I got to put a stop to this, because you humans are too weak to say enough is a mother effing enough. You don't want to put your foot down. You're worrying about your reputation. You're worrying about this. You're worrying about that. And meanwhile, more and more children, more and more souls are getting destroyed behind the situation. The same thing with the show that I'm talking about called You. He's destroying lives and no one's doing anything about it. So he got this man in the basement. The man in the basement that he captured, he said, I'm going to let you live. I think, if I'm not mistaken so far, I think he's probably the only one that he felt sorry for that man. Not sorry for him, but like, they connected. They connected on this weird mental level, because the guy that he locked up in the basement had bipolar. So he said, I'm going to let you live under one condition. If I let you live, you need to move to another country and never tell anybody what happened. So he goes to this other country. And the thing that makes me mad about the guy is that, you know, this man is a murderer, and only because he let you live, you're going to keep your promise and not tell nobody what happened to you know what I'm saying? So the guy moves to Mexico or something, and he gives him his phone number. So they keep in touch. And throughout keeping in touch, he never tells the authorities that this man is a murderer. You see what I'm saying? Just because he feels grateful that he allowed him to live and nobody else. And it's like, that's kind of selfish, because now how can you live with yourself, go to sleep at night, go on to the next realm, knowing that you let a murderer go? When I say let a murderer go, you never told anybody that there is a man in this such and such city butchering people because he let you live. This is what fanboys do. This is what flying monkeys do. They just continue to carry out the narcissist mission because they want to be approved themselves. They want to be liked by the narcissist. They want to be part of the chain gang. Now, I know we as humans, that primal nature is tribal. We all want to be somewhat together. We want to stick together. We want to feel like we're a team. But when are they going to get it that the narcissist is not on your motherfucking team? At any given point, the rules change and they throw your ass under the bus. And this was every situation in this movie. This man has no loyalty to anybody, even the ones he was completely obsessed with. No loyalty to them. Throw them under the bus when stuff don't go to what he needs. And until these people that be riding a narcissist ding-a-ling and vagina, they're going to keep being the doormat. But the problem is they're feeding an energy on this planet. The energy is getting so diabolical that now it seems abnormal to not be a narcissist. It seems abnormal to not take advantage of the weak. It's like they put you in a situation where you feel like it's do or die. It's not fair. This is why we need to empower the weak people. The people that get it, the woke people, the people that actually have some common sense. Any chance you get to empower somebody, make it your mission at this point. If you care about this planet and you care about humans, you care about society, you care about the animals, because they're doing it to the animals too. They don't have no mercy on anything. Now, I'm not saying that all narcissists do things to animals. What I'm saying is, if any situation where they can benefit, they will do it. Whether it's to up the situation or down the situation, they will do it. So if it's to put you on a pedestal, to make themselves look good, they will do it. If it's to stomp you out and you no longer exist to make themselves look good, they will do it. New York is loud as hell. But I don't want to stay on too long because I got to go back inside. If you get a chance to start empowering people, do your best. Like when I was on the bus yesterday, I had to feel like a common folk. I was on the bus, right? I'm so used to being in a car. But some of y'all know my car got destroyed by this guy. He hit it, T-boned it, and totaled it in New York. I was on the bus yesterday. And this group of kids, I thought they were in high school. They got on the bus. One of the girls, she sat next to me. It was 2 dudes and another girl. But they were standing up. So I'm sitting down next to the girl that sat next to me. And they start cursing and getting mad loud, pushing on people. They wasn't pushing people. They was pushing each other like play wrestling on a crowded bus. Now, these are some tall-ass kids. I thought they was in high school. They was like in 9th grade. But they was big. They looked like 6 foot. And they were from, I think they were either Spanish or mixed race. I don't know what they were, but they didn't look black, but they looked mixed. So the dudes is cursing, and one of them was making fun of the girl's sock, and he was just ragging on her, and I just couldn't take it no more. I said very, how you say, cavalier. I was like, well, you must like her. You keep talking about her clothes, And they were so shocked that I said that. And they were like, nah, she like family. She like family. I said, well, you must like your family because you keep talking about her like that. And then they all started laughing. So then the girl next to me was like, yeah, he always do that. So I said, y'all curse a lot. And I have kids, they're older than y'all probably, but they might curse behind my back and stuff like that. But one thing I taught my kids is don't curse in front of adults and try not to curse in public like that. And then the other kid, he felt, I don't know how to say it, like he felt a little bit ashamed. And he said, she's right. You shouldn't be cursing. He threw his friend under the bus. He was like, you shouldn't be cursing like that. You curse so much. I mean, when I tell you they was cursing, it was like every word. And it wasn't even like just an average curse. It was like a disrespectful kind of curse. Like, man, F your mother, F this, da-da-da-da-da. You a cornball. I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, it was too much. It was too much. And everybody on the bus was too afraid to say something. And I understand nowadays people pull out guns and stuff like that. But as long as you do it in a respectable manner and don't make the kid feel disrespected, you should have some level of wanting to fix society. You don't need a degree to fix society. You just need a brain. So I was like, y'all shouldn't curse that much because I got kids. You can still be cool and get your point across, but, you should chill with that or whatever. And then they was like, you right. And next thing you know, everybody laughing. The adults seemed calmed. Everybody seemed calm after that. And that's the whole point. I mean, the bus driver looked at me like, thank you. You know what I mean? So I've always been like that ever since I was a kid. I was just brave. But I know sometimes being brave gets you in some problems. It gets you in some shit. But now that I'm older, I go about my bravery with intelligence so that people don't target me to hurt me by putting myself into some ghetto ass mess. But the way I said it, like in an older auntie kind of way, not trying to disrespect them, because the lady that was in the seat across from me, she was going about it the wrong way. She was going about it confrontational, trying to go on their level. Next thing you know, she's going to be in jail because she put her hands on a minor. She was like, oh, they keep pushing on me. They got one more time to push me. Damn stupid ass kids or something like that, she said. Like, when you go about it like that, you put the situation where now it looks like everybody is crazy. So when I said it the way I said it, it calmed everybody down. So when some of the people was getting off the bus, I moved seats. I told the other girl, I said, come sit next to you. I said, y'all sisters? And she was like, no, we friends. I said, oh, both of y'all pretty. I said, you can come sit next to her. I'll move over there. So I moved, and the lady that was talking smack about the kids, she ended up being right behind me. So she's talking on the phone about the kids. But you say all of that on the phone, and in my mind, I'm like, but you're the grown-up. Like, why didn't you take control over the situation as a grown-up? She's still popping junk on the phone about the kids. She was like, yeah, they bumping me and stuff. And I was like, see, this is what causes more animosity. I noticed that the brave people, they don't have the resources, or I guess the reasoning skills to understand when you're trying to fix a situation, you got to go about it like strategically. You don't have to be intellectual, but you got to be strategic in any situation you put yourself into. So I just felt like she opened herself up to, like, what if they would have jumped her when she got off the bus or something like that? You know what I'm saying? After speaking to those kids, though, they didn't strike me as, like, violent. But it could have been another situation with a different type of kids. You know, like them real East New York, Brooklyn kids that will slice and dice you and walk away with no problem. And half of these kids won't do no time because they underage. They under 16. But that's my point. It's like, people got to step outside their comfort zone if they want to see society change. Society is not going to change without us. We make society. But that's the point I'm trying to say. It's like, everybody's waiting for somebody else to do it. It can't just be like one person doing it. It got to be a collective unit. A collective conscious mindset needs to be on this planet. It needs to be breaded back into the planet that we have to take responsibility governing ourselves. You don't have sensible people governing themselves. So now they need other people to govern them. The other people that are governing them have to go about it in a way that you're still respecting the people that are not knowledgeable enough to govern themselves. They're not going to just listen to you if you're oppressing them. So you still have to have some level of influence. And that's the problem, is like, we got to be at a certain standard in order to be influential to somebody else. If you ain't doing shit with your life, you know what I'm saying? If you're an older man and you on the corner drinking, or you ain't got no job and you complaining about the white man took away all the jobs. Yes, he probably did, but that doesn't mean you can't figure something out. We're all in a bind, but we still got to be smart enough, strategic enough to figure some shit out. So if you're not in that level of empowerment, you can't really be influential on somebody else. But if you are in that level of empowerment, make something of it. Don't leave this planet turning a blind eye to the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's not much you think you're doing. You might just, like they say, reach one, teach one. You might just reach one person and be like, oh, I ain't really do nothing. You never know. That one person could be influential to a ton of people as they reach those people. That's why it's reach one, teach one, reach one, whatever, right? That's the whole power of it. And in the show that I was talking about, I felt like everybody was turning a blind eye to this guy who's showing signs of sociopathic behavior, and everybody's acting like they're too scared to talk to him and let him know, hey, you can't work here no more, or you can't date my friend no more. You know, like standing up against, it would be like one or two people that would stand up against the bullshit, and the friends of the same person would turn against that person because they're speaking up their mind and speaking the truth and saying, look, something's off with this guy. Something's not right. He's doing this, he's stealing, you know what I mean? This is the problem. We all want to live this fantasy and act like we don't see what the hell is going on. You got all these people that want to ride the ding-a-ling and the vagina of the bad people instead of getting on the bandwagon with the good people, because they feel like, oh, if I get with the bad person, they could fight my battles for me. But they don't even realize the battles that they're going to fight for you, they're going to put you in them same battles. They're the reason why you have the battle in the first goddamn place, because they created the goddamn mess, the chaos. This is what they do. I would rather stand against people to know that I'm doing something right and live with that uncomfortability, because at the end of that rainbow, the reward is liberation, freedom and liberation from the bullshit. But then when you get with somebody that you know they're toxic, you know they don't mean you know well, you know they're gonna bring havoc into your life, and you feel secure at that one moment, But then they bring in all this punishment behind the bullshit. They bring in all this havoc into your life. Next thing you know, you end up worse than when you started off to begin with. If that means being lonely for a little while, be lonely. If that means having no friends for a little while, be lonely. Have no friends. If that means being liberated and being free. Don't sit up here and try to be nobody's friend that don't got your back. I told my kids this a long time ago. That's why they don't kiss nobody's ass. All 3 of my kids are strong enough to stand on their own. They stand 10 toes down on the shit that they believe in. Just like me. Just like their father. I don't play that shit. People will try to destroy you whether you their friend or not. So why be the friend of a person that you know is capable of that? If a person is capable of being malicious, vindictive, manipulative, gaslighting, and all the other shit, and unaliving you, and putting gossip out there, lying on you, all that shit, why the fuck would you be their friend? Why would you even deal with them? Ignore those type of people. They ain't gonna bring nothing but havoc into your life. That is the point. That is the message. Let it resonate. Anytime you're around people, let that be the message. Don't deal with bullshit ass people. Only deal with the real ones. We always want to make fun of the real ones. Oh, well, they're mad because they can't be you. They don't have a personality. They're so upset that you can see through their persona. They're pissed about that. But you know what? Oh, fucking well. Oh, I just got an email. I got to go back in. They want to know if I got my med card yet. But I'm going to try to make some videos before the weekend is out, inshallah. But I love you guys. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.